Hi, I'm Steven with Goldstarparts. I want to talk about and explain the installation of a front receiver on a newer Suzuki Daihatsu mini truck. Currently what I'm going to show is the receiver being placed up into position to be mounted on a 2021 Daihatsu Hijet S510P. This truck happens to be a heavy duty dump. The instructions for this, the discussion about installation on this fits anything from a 1999 Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Daihatsu, all the way up through the current model year of 2022. We're going to lift this thing up under the truck, position it to the frame rails, mark the holes on both sides, drill the holes, put the bolts in. It's that simple. It sits against the frame rail, the bottom edge of the frame rail. It sits up against the side of the frame rail. So it's a real simple installation. Almost doesn't require any kind of talk about, because what it is, find the position, slide it up. It actually comes up and positions itself right underneath the plastic fascia in the front. You drilling the holes, that's the hardest part. So if you think about it, drilling 4 holes is the hardest part you're going to do here. You will need to take that front plastic fascia off the truck to drill the holes, because you want to be able to get in there and feel and have your hands moving around a little bit. If you have a right angle drill, you can do it without it. So we'll go ahead and I'll stop from here. I'll go ahead and reset up in front of the truck, up underneath the truck, and I'll have somebody help me hold this up in position, and then you'll get a shot of where and how we position it. If it's sitting on the floor or sitting on the hoist like I have it now, we would go ahead and put a jack underneath the center to hold this thing up, position it, bring in 4-inch clamps, clamp it to position, mark the holes where we're going to drill, take it out, drill the holes, put this back up, put the bolts in. What this kit currently does not have is a backer plate for the back side of the frame. I'm going to bring bolts through and have a nuts and washers on that side. It would be a good thing to go ahead and have a backer plate. Our paper instruction shows a customer that did it, and he did put a built-in backer plate to correspond to these holes, so when you drilled it through, it again made a nicer sandwich. As an option, what you can do with this bumper after you've got it up and in position is to go ahead and grind away the powder coating here and on the frame and weld it in position. With many of our dealers that we sell these hitches to, that's what they'll do, is they'll weld it in position. Why? It's stronger all the way around. It has a huge attachment surface to it, and I don't know that it's any quicker, but they find it to be a very strong, and there's no callbacks on the fact that there's a real failure. And I don't think there'll be callbacks on the fact of a bolt loosening up anyways. But this also is one heavy duty hitch that we build. This was designed by us here at Goldstarparts. I'm going to take this hitch that I just showed you earlier, and I'm going to take it and put it into position of where it goes. I'm going to point the positions out, and then you'll see how easy it is. What I'm not showing, of course, is me actually doing the installation. So I don't have a cross piece here with a jack holding the hitch to the center of the truck that I would normally use to do it as a single person, one-man operation. But I'm going to point to the frame unibody of where we're going to attach to. This side and to this side is where we're attaching to, right here. You'll notice that the bracket that we've got that we're attaching to is angled to fit against the bottom of the unibody and to the side of the unibody. The bolt holes we talked about earlier, you're going to mark and drill, backer plate. If you look in here on both sides, the plastic cover you will take off so you can access this frame member here to make sure that your drilling doesn't affect anything underneath. It can go back on. Doesn't have to, but I put it back on. If there's cutting needed, I don't recall if there is, certainly that's minor. So here's what I do. I take this front hitch, and if I'm laying on the floor with jack stands, I'm laying down, crawling underneath, and I've got my hoist, and I've got this thing set on top of my jack, or my floor jack. I'm going to lift it up into position like this. Now, what I am now is I am up both sides. I've got a little bit of movement side to side. You're going to pull that in when you bolt up. I'm setting up flat underneath the unibody to allow that extra amount of surface to absorb any impact. I'm going to mark the bolts where they need to be drilled. I'm going to drill the holes, put this back up, backer plates, if you so desire, large flat washers also, if they're not backer plate, and bolt this up. And that's all there is to this hitch. The only thing that we're doing, I would say, is removing the front fascia on this particular truck. As I look to it, I say, okay, yes, because of it does give me clearance for a longer drill motor on the very edge of the fascia. But if you have a right angle drill, you'll be able to get in there just fine with that. So, we're sitting about an inch below the fascia, half inch. Push it up a little better, Stephen. And we're about a half inch below the fascia. There's your clearance, there's your ground clearance. You wanna know what it is right now? Check the ground clearance for the fascia, add the 2.5 inches that you're going to need for that tube itself. And that's what you need when you go ahead and get a snowplow, to tell them what size truck you have, what hitch you have, and the ground clearance of the front receiver. Because you're buying a black line snowplow, in the most case, they already know this information. This happens to be the same hitch they buy from us. If you buy a hitch from them, this is the hitch you're getting. And then after she's had a good chance to scan for you the appearance of how this sits on your truck, she'll give me the signal and I'll collapse to the floor, gasping for breath, going on to the next product to go ahead and quasi demonstrate. Try it. If you don't like it, please comment. Let us know what we're doing wrong. If you do like it, comment it and let us know what we're doing right. Thanks.